What we're going to be talking about today is the 6 essential skills that you're going to need to be a successful music producer. I wish someone explained those skills to me when I first started out so that I knew the areas that I needed to improve in and I could work on them. Yo, it's Thomas Anthony from FOXX Music. FOXX Music is all about helping you become the artist that you're meant to be so you can confidently share your music with the world and make an impact with your message. Now, if this is your first time on the channel, my name is Thomas Anthony and I have been in the music game for over 10 years, producing music, releasing music, helping others with music, and just everything related to music. So I decided to make this channel that I upload a new video every Tuesday related to music business, music production, or just music lifestyle, and anything to help you out in your music career. So if this is something you're interested in and you dig in the kind of content that I'm putting out, consider subscribing and hit the little bell notification so you get a little buzz from me in your pocket when I release a new video. All right, let's get cracking into today's video. What we're going to be talking about today is the 6 essential skills that you're going to need to be a successful music producer. I wish someone explained those skills to me when I first started out so that I knew the areas that I needed to improve in and I could work on them one by one or at the same time, but just I wish that I knew the areas that I needed to work on as opposed to just lumping it under this big music production and music marketing and just kind of trying to figure out everything in between. So I thought it would be a really good idea to explain the essential skills that you need to be a successful music producer. All right, the first skill is music composition, composing a song. You need to know how to compose a song and not just put a drop and a breakdown and a build up together, but actually compose a song. If you look up any successful like music producer like Zoo or like Tiesto or I don't know, Zed, for example, and you looked them up on YouTube and you type in piano cover, there's going to be a ton of people that have done piano covers of their whole songs because they have composed a song that can be really transposed to any instrument and played and it still sounds awesome. This is the process of composition. So you're going to compose a song that is awesome. And this is a difficult thing and you need to go outside of the EDM genre to look at other composers, how other people in different genres have composed music and really apply those techniques to your own music to make a really compelling song. And I know some people just want to make bangers, but there is an art to composing a song that's going to be interesting throughout the whole way through. And this brings me to the next topic, which is arrangement. You need to know how to arrange a song in an interesting way. Now, again, like I'm not just talking about build up, breakdown, build up, drop, breakdown, build up, drop. That is an arrangement, but when I talk about arrangement, I think of how can I make this song consistently and continually interesting throughout the whole listening experience. So whether that bring in and out drums, having little verse sections over top of the chorus, just anything that really makes it more interesting throughout the whole way through, bringing in new instruments, taking out new instruments, anything like that to really make the song more interesting. Now, arrangement also leads into the third area of music production, and that is instrumentation. So what kind of instruments are you going to be using for each part of your song? For your basses, for your leads, for your just instruments in general, for your breakdowns. You need to know where these instruments lie in the frequency spectrum and how to layer them with each other to make a full and thick song. So it's not just bass line, drums, and a little bit of vocals coming at you, because that won't be a very full song. You want to learn how to incorporate different instruments into your mix and into your song so that you get a full spectrum of awesomeness just hitting you in the face when you hear that. Now, the next area is mixing. Now, obviously mixing is what everybody talks about in music production. They make the song, they're like, how do I mix it better? How do I get fatter drums? How do I get fatter bass line? And mixing is an art in and of itself because you need to learn so many different topics of like how to treat instruments, how to make them sound fat, how to group process, and how to make them all sound good together. And it's an art form as well as just knowing formulas of things that go like processing chains that go on top of each other. And it's a thing that you need to really dive into. You can definitely hire someone to mix your tracks, but I like the art form of mixing, knowing exactly how I want the mix to sound and how I want instruments placed and how everything needs to come together. And I don't really like shipping that off to people, so I always do my own mixing. But it's another skill, and it's a very big skill of music production, because after the composition part, which is a super fun part, the mixing part is equally as important to make your music stand out and pop and really be able to sound awesome on across all systems. Which brings me to my next point, which is mastering. So many people think that composing the song and just putting the levels together and kind of squashing them together, that's mixing. Maybe throwing a sidechain on there, that's mixing, and everything will be taken care of mastering. They're like, oh, mastering will just fix this, it'll make it sound awesome. That is not the case. Mastering is just going to give you that extra little 5 to 10% of awesomeness on top of your track that's going to make it sound good on all systems. The mix is where most of the things happen. You need to get the mix sounding crisp and tight and just amazing at first before moving on to the mastering area, where they're going to give it that little extra, like 5 to 10%, and it's just going to make your track just pop and shine a little bit harder. Now, personally, for vocally more commercial tracks, I send my music out to get mastered because I'd rather have someone with some outboard gear and some awesome hardware synths or effects on there to just make it pop. But for more club tracks and just other things that don't really have vocals in them, I just master everything myself because it's just much easier, faster, and the quality doesn't need to be the same for a club track that you just want to sound good at the club or in the cars, whereas with more vocally tracks, you really want that vocal to shine through and be like the highlight of the song. So that's very important. So I send that stuff out to a mastering engineer. Now, the next essential producer skill is learning how to release your music. This is huge. There is a strategy of, besides just posting things on social media and spamming everybody, my new track is out, my new track is out. There's one artist in particular that I follow on Instagram, and they put just, all they do is say, this song out now on this record label. And I'm like, no one cares about this song. There is an art form to sharing your music in interesting ways and having a strategy that will get people to listen to your music. So that means who are the people you're going to be sending it to, who are the influencers that you're going to be sending it to so they can get it into their audience, and how are you going to consistently talk about it without it getting boring. And this ties into the final topic, which is branding. Now, branding is obviously going to start with your music. What does your music sound like? What kind of instruments are you using? What kind of style are you using? But then it also flows into what kind of artwork do you use? What kind of language do you use to talk about your music? What kind of language do you use to promote yourself online? What kind of images do you present on your social media? Are you going for a darker tone where you're like looking all somber? Or are you just crazy and super fun like Fisher? Your brand really, really ties into your music, and it's a super important skill, especially these days, for promoting your music. I honestly don't think Fisher's music would have gotten so far if he wasn't so crazy and out of the box and just joking around all the time. He is definitely a character, and he is hilarious, and everyone loves to watch what he's doing. And he also makes great music. So those two things combined makes a really, really, really strong brand that people want to follow and they want to engage in. And that's ultimately what you want to build with your music career. Now, the best way to excel in any of those skills, there's only one cheat code in the whole of the universe, and there's really only one way to get ahead in anything legitimately, and that is by getting a mentor or by getting help from someone. Now, you can obviously take online courses, but the best way to do it, in my opinion, and this is how I've jumpstarted my career, is by getting a mentor. So it's someone who holds you accountable, and you produce some work and then they check it over and tell you where you're wrong. Then you go back and you fix it and add more detail, and you go back to the mentor for some more feedback. This is the only way to progress quickly. There literally is no other way. You can take a course and then you still have to go through trial and error to fix your mistakes and figure out if you did something wrong. You need to get feedback, and that's the number one way. Now, if you're interested in getting a mentor, there's a link in the description to a sign-up form where I will just grab your email and I will email you information on my one-on-one mentoring program. This program will be opening up July 1st. July 1st, and yeah, I'll send you all the information, no other stuff, just no spam regarding any other music stuff, just the mentoring program. So if that's something you're interested in, it's in the description below. Now, before you do anything with mentorship programs, go check out my music. See if we're a good fit. If you like the stuff that I'm talking about, if you like the way that I convey information, and if you like the music that I make, most importantly, because most people want help with their music and their branding, and yeah, you need to like my music and think it's good quality for you to want to be mentored by me. So go check it out. Everything's linked down in the description below. So check it out, see if we're a fit. Subscribe to my channel, and also check out my monthly mix series called Smell the Roses. I have a new video up every Tuesday, so check that out. And yeah, hope to hear from you soon. All right, keep it fancy. Peace.